Hello, everyone. So, this is part two of how I became homeless for the second time. Um, so, as I was saying, we moved into a flat in Croydon. We had my son, my beautiful son. I love him to bits. My only son. Um, Moved in, and I thought everything was all right at first. What I done was I didn't quit all of my jobs in Bedford. I quit two of them, and then I got a transfer from the third one. So because I knew that Next was like a big company, I knew that I'd be able to get a transfer from just one location to another. So that's what I done. I got my job transferred from Bedford to London, to Croydon. The only issue with this was that I was on a full-time permanent contract in Bedford. When they moved me over to Croydon, they moved me to a 0 hour contract, which is bullshit. But I couldn't argue with it. I needed a job and I had to be transferred. So I done what I needed to be done. So I was working. She was at home with the baby. Obviously we'd had the baby by now. She's at home with my son. I'm working. It gets to just after Christmas. I think it was like January. They fire everyone. Pretty much not everyone, I'm exaggerating, but they fired at least, I don't know, 6 or 7 people from the company just after Christmas because they were like, oh, we got too much staff, we don't need that many people. And because I had a 0 hour contract, I was one of the ones that got fired. So I was absolutely fuming now. I was all right in Bedford. I had my own flat, I had 3 jobs, I was good. Now I've moved to London, I lost my job, my 0 hour contract bullshit job, lost it. Now I'm hunting for work. Now I have to go on to fucking job seekers. So now I'm on job seekers, hunting for work, um, coming home, looking after the baby. Um, and this is the thing as well, when you move in, when I moved in with my girlfriend at the time, now I don't mean to be disrespectful to her, but she didn't know nothing. She lived with her mum her whole time, and her mum had done everything for her, cooking, cleaning, everything. She didn't know how to do nothing. I had to teach her how to use the dishwasher. I mean, not the dishwasher. I had to teach her how to use the washing machine. I had to teach her how to use like the oven, stuff like this. So I couldn't expect great meals from a person like this. So like when I was working, I would come home. I'd come home to like beans on toast, for example, or beans and chips, which is just like, ugh, I don't even want to eat that. That's just rank. Like, I want some proper food. Like, I've been cooking for myself since I was 10 years old. So, and that's a whole nother story we can get into on another day. But I've been cooking and cleaning for myself since I was about 10, 11. So, you can't tell me anything about how to wash something or clean something because I've been doing it since I was 10. So, I had to teach her everything. I don't think she liked that for starters. Maybe I was a little bit critical because she didn't know how to do anything. Um, so I can admit my faults. Um, anyway, it got to the point where she was breastfeeding all the time, um, and we had a cot right next to the bed, but she didn't like getting out of the bed and bending over to take the baby out of the cot. She said it was hurting her back doing it all the time, so she just wanted to keep the baby in the bed with her. That meant I wasn't allowed to sleep in the bed anymore. This is what she said to me. Oh, you can't sleep in the bed anymore because I'm scared that you're going to roll over in the night and squidge him and you're going to kill him and all of this. And I was like, come on. I'm like the lightest sleeper in the world. Like if a mouse farts in the corner of the room, I'm awake. Like, what was that? So I'm like the lightest sleeper ever. Like, there's no way I'm gonna roll over and kill someone in the night with my body. That's just as soon as I touch somebody, I'm like almost awake anyway. So I'm a very sensitive sleeper. But no, that wasn't good enough. No, I was now relegated to the sofa in the living room. Now bear in mind I'm 5'11". I'm nearly 6 foot. That sofa was like 5'5", 5'4". in length. Like, I was curled up in fetal position trying to sleep on that sofa every night, which was super uncomfortable. We weren't really having sex anymore. We weren't really talking anymore. I would sleep on the sofa in the living room every night. She would come in the middle of the night and give me my son and just say like, "Oh, he won't go to sleep. He needs winding." And then I'd be up for hours winding him until he finally went back to sleep. So things weren't great between us, but they weren't bad. It was just what I sort of expected life was like the first time you have a baby. It's difficult. There are ups and downs. There are things you need to learn, things you need to adapt and change. And I was willing to do all of anything. I was doing most of the cooking and the cleaning anyway, seeing because I didn't have a job. I was looking for work. That wasn't good enough either. I wasn't looking hard enough, apparently. According to her, not a job centre, just according to her. According to the job centre, I was looking for multiple jobs and I was applying for lots of jobs and I was going for interviews, but to her, it wasn't good enough. Nothing was good enough for her. So she turns around to me one day and says to me, I think we need some time apart, just for a little bit. Why don't you go and spend like a week or two at your friend's house? And I think we just need some time. So I'm like, I don't like the sound of that idea, but okay, I'm willing to do whatever you want to make you fucking happy to make this work. Stupid me. Guys, if you ever hear a woman say that to you, I think we need some time apart to clear my mind or to think about things. Just know as soon as those words come out of her mouth, it's over. It's over right then and then. It's done. You need to accept it right now. As soon as she says that shit, accept that it's done. It's over. But I was young. I didn't realize that at the time. I was like, oh yes, okay, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll go and spend a week at my friend's house. That's what I done. Packed up a bag, went to go and spend a week at my friend's house. I came back after a week and tried to stick the key in the door, and the locks were changed. Not only that, but all of my stuff was outside on the street in bags and boxes. I didn't even get to pack up my own shit. Her and her mother packed up all of my stuff into bags and boxes and just left it out on the street and said, "Oh yeah, you coming back on Friday, for example?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll come back on Friday." I came back on Friday, all of my stuff's outside and the locks are changed. My key don't work. What the fuck am I supposed to do now? There was no warning for that at the time. I was just like shell shocked. So now I'm standing in the middle of Croydon with all of my shit, like my whole life, in bags and boxes right there in the street. I don't know what to do. What do I do? I called up my dad. Dad, what the fuck am I supposed to do? For one, you need to come and collect all of this shit. Because what the hell am I supposed to do with all of this stuff? So my dad has to come down and interrupt his life to drive all the way to fucking Croydon to put all of my possessions in his car to store them in his house somewhere, in his garage or his attic or something. While now I've got nowhere to fucking live. I'm homeless again. So I go back to my friend's house for another week, and I'm trying to cool myself down talking to him. During this time now, she's not making no money. She can't afford to stay in the flat. The landlord leased it to us because he believed that we were a family, not a single mother with a child. So now he's told her to leave. She has to leave the flat because we broke the lease. Now she's fucking homeless. Now she's put me homeless and she's made herself and my son homeless as well. So what happens next? I bet none of you can guess what happens next. I couldn't even believe what happened next. Now I'm homeless again, got nowhere to go. I'm like sofa surfing now at friends' houses and trying to find out what the fuck to do. And because she's now sort of systematically made herself homeless, my dad, bless his heart, had thought, okay, I don't want my son's son to be homeless, and I don't want her to struggle, so they can stay at mine. So she and my son got to go and live with my dad and his girlfriend in their house while I was fucked, basically. And that was my life for the next, like, 2 years. I was homeless, sofa surfing for like 2 years after that. Destroyed me, losing my house, losing my job, losing my flat, losing my girlfriend, losing my baby. I lost everything. I was absolutely heartbroken, destroyed at that point. It took me almost, I say 2 years, but realistically it was more like 4. It took me 4 years to pull myself enough together to be able to start to live comfortably again. Not even comfortably, just reasonably. Peace.